This is a very short class on the topic of structure and authority for small business. It really just sets up the other videos on this topic and gives a very brief overview of some of the issues, specifically the span of control and just some brief words about structure. But there are specialist and dedicated videos on the course that cover these topics, and it's important that you look those up and deal with those. This one is meant to be a general introduction, so very brief and very introductory. We start by looking at creating a structure and understanding informal groups. And organization really grows out of something very informal. The managers of the company need to configure the company in an efficient manner, but they start almost from chaos. They start from groups that are unorganized, groups of workers, groups of almost groups of capital. The assets of the business, the working capital, is not properly perhaps laid out. The plant is not properly designed. If it's an office environment, it also needs to be laid out in a logical fashion, one which is conducive to work and efficiency. So it all starts from a very informal coming together of resources, and these need to be put in line in a way which will enable the management to meet its strategic goals. So understanding informal groups is important, and they're usually bound by common interests or backgrounds. So informal groups, when they arise within organizations, or when an organization starts, it almost starts with informal groups, as I just said. But even within mature organizations, informal groups will come together, and these are usually bound by common interest or background. Sometimes it may be perhaps the common interest is not work related. It could be something external, sporting interests or cultural interests or something else which leads them into informal groups. But once in the informal group, they will of course speak about work and work issues and ideas about work. This is a natural process with humans. We start by having common interests and meeting to discuss common interests, and eventually the conversations widen out to include other aspects of our lives and our interests. Informal groups tend to have changing and informal leadership hierarchies. No one person leads the informal group. It's an informal group. On a particular day, someone will be keen to speak about something or to talk about something, and on that occasion, that person will be seen as almost the leader. That person is the one who's driving the conversation. On a separate day, someone else will do the same. So there is almost a rotating leadership. Some people in the group may be very reticent to speak, but would like to be a member of the group. So perhaps they will never actually lead the conversations or be the center of attention. So some who have somewhat more charisma and more interest in certain issues may be seen as the leaders of the informal group. Generally well motivated and supportive, and can be efficient if focused on the organizational goals. Because informal groups came together voluntarily, they tend to be very motivated. They tend to be interested. It's just something they wanted to do. No one forced them into these informal groups. So if the organization is able to identify the informal groups, they may be able to tap into these informal groups, and that will be advantageous to the organization and to the promotion of the organizational goals. So the organization, the management of the organization, should really watch out for the development of informal groups within the workplace. These are situations where the management may be able to tap into the resource. Because it is voluntary, they are highly motivated, they are keen to participate in these informal groups. And as I said, the focus of the informal group may be something external to the organisation. It may be membership of a football club or a social club or something else. But the fact that the informal group exists, the organisation may be able to support it, but also use it to promote its own agenda. And there's nothing sinister about that. That is simply a quid pro quo. The informal group may need resources from time to time, or may need support from time to time. The organisation perhaps is in a position to help. But the informal group is also in a position to help out the organisation. A separate issue in this short video is the delegation of authority. It's important that management can delegate to its employees. If it can't delegate, then all of the burdens of management rests with a few people, with the senior management perhaps, and that's not good for their health or for their efficiency or for their sustainability in that role. It's important, therefore, they're able to delegate. And delegation and this type of topic is dealt with, as I said earlier, in several videos elsewhere on the course, which you should look up. But delegation of authority really takes us into the type of organisation and how it can be done. It's allowing subordinates the right to act on behalf of the superior. So that's what delegation is. It's given power to some employees to act on behalf of the manager. They have the authority to act on behalf of the manager. Now, the benefits of delegation, well, it gives the superior time to perform more important tasks. It frees up the manager. The manager would otherwise be involved in day-to-day routine tasks, repetitive tasks, and would not therefore have time to focus in on more challenging tasks and tasks which are slightly more innovative and creative and will help the organisation to grow and to more readily fulfill its corporate objectives. So delegation frees up time for the manager by allowing the employees the authority to perform certain tasks without supervision and on behalf of the manager. It develops the worker's skills as well. The worker's job is enhanced, it's enriched by this process. The worker is no longer just performing the tasks and obeying orders. The worker is now performing the tasks, but also setting his or her own agenda almost, setting his or her own work routine and working out the most efficient ways of performing the task. And they have authority, they are more motivated, they are respected within the workplace, and they are developing their skills. And of course, it improves two-way communications, which is important. Improving two-way communications means there's less misunderstanding, there's more efficiency, there's more goodwill and better working conditions on all sides, because the environment is better, it's more productive, it's more supportive, and there is better communications. They understand each other better. So, as I said earlier, in this short class, we just wanted to talk about just these two very simple topics, just set them up. They are the subject matter of separate videos on the course, which you should be aware of, and you can look up in Moodle. But that's all really we're going to deal with in this video. Short and sweet, just to the point, and covers what we need to do in this situation. But that's all we're going to deal with here, so let's leave it at that and say thank you for watching.